Anita Sarkeesian was going to speak at Utah State University. She was going to talk about gaming and how females are represented in game. Now, a lot of people are mad at her in the gaming community. There's this Gamergate stuff going around. To me, this story isn't about that because it's about the threats that she got in this case and the reaction that the university had regarding those threats. Now, you don't like her, that's your issue. But you threaten her, that's all of our issue. That's a crime, okay? Or at least it is in most states. And so the gaming community, they get disparaged oftentimes, like, oh, you're all part of these people threatening her. Now, that's not true. My guess is this is a very small minority doing the threats of people like Sarkeesian, right? But then as they say to the Muslims, well, then you should disown that small minority, right? Now, I'm not going to blame every gamer. They don't need to come out and make a statement, I disown them. It's not their job, right? It's the same thing I say for when all Muslims get criticized. And so blaming all gamers is mental. That's of course not true. But the people who are doing these threats, well, that's super dangerous. And some of the threats against her and some other women writers or game developers have been so over the top, so stomach churning. We're going to come to your house. We know where it is. We're going to rape you. We're going to kill you, etc. They literally drive them from their homes. So that's something that is obviously hideous. If you can't see how that's hideous, there's something wrong with you, okay? So now in this case, she's going to give a speech. You agree with the speech, you don't agree with the speech, that's irrelevant. You certainly don't threaten violence. But apparently someone did. Now, they said that they were going to do a Montreal massacre-style attack. Now, if you're not aware, in Montreal in 1989, 24-year-old Marc Lepine killed 14 women, injured 10 others, and injured 4 men as well. And he said, you're all a bunch of feminists, and I hate feminists. So again, here we go again. It's because she's a feminist, and she made some critiques. He disagrees with the critiques, so he's going to go to Montreal and kill everybody. If that wasn't clear enough, well, he wrote a letter in which he said, I have at my disposal a semi-automatic rifle, multiple pistols, and a collection of pipe bombs. This will be the deadliest school shooting in American history, and I'm giving you a chance to stop it. And he's saying he's giving you a chance to stop it by saying she's not allowed to speak at the university. Now, of course, the university didn't do that, but I'll tell you what their reaction was in a second. He says, furthermore in his threats, even if they're able to stop me, there are plenty of feminists on campus who won't be able to defend themselves one way or another. I'm going to make sure they die. Now, on top of everything else, these threats are ironic because part of the reason that some people are angry at Sarkeesian is because they say her critique saying that there's sometimes misogyny in the games is wrong, so that's why we're going to kill her. That would actually seem to prove her point a little bit, right? She's worried about misogyny, and you say, how dare you say we're misogynistic, we're going to rip you to shreds. You see, that would be counterproductive to your argument, right? So now, this is terrible enough as it is. But I think the real interesting part of this story is the reaction of the university. So now, the good news is they said, look, we'll bring more cops and we'll bring bomb detectors. Okay, good. But she said, look, can you do like a metal detector to make sure they don't bring the guns into the speech? Because the one guy said he's going to bring the guns and do the worst massacre in campus history, right? For the whole country. They said no. Utah is an open carry state, and they can bring all the guns they like. But the guy just threatened the biggest massacre in American history, and he said, I'm going to shoot all the women. Yeah, no, open carry. Everybody bring their guns anyway. Afterwards, we'll hope for the best. Campus quote from the Standard Examiner, campus police told her that state law allowed anyone with a concealed firearm permit to bring their weapon to the event. So this story isn't about gaming, it isn't about Sarkeesian, this is about America. And we've gotten to a point where it doesn't matter. You can bring your guns, you got a permit, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the threats are. So what if it was the president? Whether it was President Bush, President Obama, it doesn't matter. So they say, okay, we're gonna murder the president. We're gonna murder everybody in the room. Would you just let them bring guns in? Yeah, oh, it's an open carry state. And if they have a concealed firearm permit, yeah, of course. Let's go, bring them all in. Do I have to explain that that's mental? Apparently I do. No, so she's not speaking. She's like, no. They're like, no, we refuse to do a metal detector. We refuse to stop people from bringing weapons to your speech. Well, bombs we have an issue with. Okay, but they can bring any other kind of gun. And it's okay, because I'm sure the good guy with a gun will stop the bad guy with a gun after he's murdered you. America has lost its mind. For people living in the U.S., you have no idea how the rest of the world sees us. We are now like viewed as lunatics. Like, who would allow guns at a speech where somebody says, I'm going to use a gun to kill not just the speaker, but many people at the speech? We would, the United States of America. So she had to cancel the speech. I don't know what more to say other than this is insanity.